Okay, I'm sure some of you have seen this before online. I just wanted to make sure everybody understood how to do it, because a lot of the online information isn't particularly forthcoming, and it's really useful, so I thought I would share it in a more full method. So when you look at a ring like this, getting inside each of these little space to sand is quite difficult. So one of the things you can do, this is just sandpaper for a belt sander, a 1-inch belt sander. And what I do is I take this, I cut it the same length as I would a saw blade, and then I turn it upside down, a metal ruler, and I cut a 1/8 inch strip off the back using a knife. And this works for many things, this technique of using it in your saw frame, but I found that it's not all that great for many things, but I'll show you how it works. So you just put it in your saw frame just like you would anything. Now I'm going to point it to my right, and I'm just going to put this little piece in there. Now in this case, I'm sanding inside of here, so I'm going to slide the ring on this way, just like if I was using a saw. And then now I'm noticing I need to cut this just a little bit shorter here. And the reason I know that I need to cut it shorter is because it's bottoming out in my thing. So it's just important that you don't tighten it too much. You want it tight. So now I have it in there. I can use it like this and sand the inside. You can see it does get around it a little bit, but what I'm running into is I'm actually hitting the shank. So in this case, and I make quite a few of these rings, in this case, what I want is I want a way of getting in here and being able to sand vertically and have a lot more overall versatility. So what I did was I modified a pair of cross-locking tweezers. I've cut a notch in the end, and what I do for this is I just take it here, I open up the cross-locking tweezers, and I lock the sandpaper in. I put it in there like that, all the way around, and then I just hold it with my other finger, squeezing it here, and that gives me my tension. Now if I'm doing it inside a ring, like I did a moment ago, I put it in, bring the ring into this position, make sure I go around. So those little notches are to hold the sandpaper. And my sandpaper is actually supposed to be sticking at the other side here. Come on. Oh, no, it's not. Got it backwards. Had it right the first time. So it goes through, in the notch, in the other notch, and then I pull it tight, and I just hold it here with my finger. And now I can hold it, and you can see how the sandpaper, the cross-locking tweezers let me get right inside. And so I can just sand back and forth. And so I'm just going back and forth like this. And I'm changing my angle of attack so that I sand around the edge. And then the nice thing about this, to change it, I just release it. I'm going to turn it around the other side so I can do the other side of it. And I just grab it, put it in the notch, pull it back down, and tighten it. And then I can do the other side. And again, you can see I've got that much swing. When this piece wears out, all I do is I take it, I open my cross-locking tweezers, push a little bit in, and then I have a fresh piece of sandpaper. Anyways, I hope this helps. You can use different grit as well, of course. This stuff is the cloth sandpaper. It's much more flexible. I prefer this, but you can get into almost any groove. So you can either use your saw frame or you can make yourself a pair of cross-locking tweezers like this, and that'll just let you get in there and sand all of those little spots that you can't normally get at. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. Please feel free to subscribe and like and share and do all of those things. I often don't bother telling people because I assume by now that if people want to do it, they will. However, I appreciate, I don't get paid to do these videos, so I don't know if, oopsies, I don't get paid to do these videos, so if you find them helpful, sharing and whatnot, I don't know what it does, but apparently it's good for something. So I'm just going to keep, so I can also, right now I'm pushing to sand. I can also turn this around just like this and turn it so it's upside down. So I'm going to put it in backwards this time. I like to try to keep it in the middle of the tweezers when it goes through. So if I have it on this side, it shifts off the end when I'm putting it in, but keep it in the middle. And this time I have the sandpaper on the inside, which allows me to sand by pulling instead of pushing. Does it really matter? No, but not really, because I would be pushing from the other side at any rate. Oopsies. Best if this wasn't twisted. There we go. Come on. Obviously, I need to finesse this little fella a bit. That on there. Bring the ring up into position. Just like so. On the other side of the tweezers. Make sure it's in the groove. Tighten it. So now, instead of pushing it to sand this side, I'm actually pulling it. So I'm pulling it down. I prefer pushing because it pushes it into the little grooves that I made. You can see how I can get all the way around, and I can also use it to get a little beveled edge on the inside. Normally we would do that little beveled edge with a saw frame, but it's actually just as easy to do with sandpaper. Anyways, I hope this helps, and remember to subscribe and like and do all those things. Thanks.